Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengals fan on most of the major platforms, and we are joined here not only by Jake Circus of the Jake Circus podcast, but also by Heath Goldman and Riley Goldman, father-son super fans. So,
Who
and
day? Who day?
this is the Week 11 recap of Jungle Talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and we got the win.
Hey, what do we do when we win?
What's that?
What do we do when we win?
I forgot. You rushed me. He's going off to the Laker game, and he was like, let's start. So here it is. There you go. Victory horn.
We needed that one.
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me. So, and I do appreciate you joining us. I know you're heading off to the Laker game. This game in the first half was driving me nuts. Was it just me, or did it feel like the officials had money on the Steelers? The Mike Hilton call gifted. That was a 3rd and 7 from midfield. They got a touchdown off that drive. The only reason we were losing at halftime was the officiating. And what about Burrow when he slid and took a knee and then he gets nailed by Miles Jack and there's no flag? So Hilton looks cross-eyed at somebody and we get I just was it me, or did that feel that way to you guys as well?
Well, we talked about it on Thursday. We knew that, every time we go to Heinz, I guess it's not even called Heinz anymore, but every time we go to Pittsburgh, something weird happens. It was a tough spot, and it was obvious the Bengals were the better team, and we saw that in the second half with the way that they made the adjustments. But they just had to tread water and get into halftime, and that's where they're at their best. And we'll talk about Burrow, but first time in his career, he's won a game in which he had multiple turnovers.
Yeah.
That's something that he had yet to do, was to overcome those turnovers in that same game. And he did that by playing some pretty unbelievable football in the second half.
Well, I have to defend Burrow on these turnovers.
Right.
Both of those interceptions were on tip balls. That TJ Watt, I mean, that's the second time this year he's done that. We were talking on Thursday about Watt and just what a game wrecker he is. And he lived up to, he's worth every penny they're paying him. Because that defense.
I'm going to say one thing, because I've been highly critical all year. That offensive line today played a hell of a ball game against a very tough front four. And more importantly, Collins is finally coming back into his own, where he's dominating on that right side as best as he can. So,
there was a drive or two in the third where Collins got beat bad a couple times. Highsmith had a sack and a half. But other than there's like 2 or 3 drives where Burrow was in constant pressure. They were doing shallow dropbacks, and they were getting after him. But other than that, I thought all around offensive line pretty good. And in terms of the assignment that they had.
Yeah.
Because we know who the Steelers have. They have 3 amazing pass rushers. They have 3 complete game wreckers, and TJ Watt is, an elite player, and so is Highsmith, and so is Cameron Hayward. But I thought the offensive line was up for the challenge. Mixon went down. They really couldn't run the ball. Pirine he had a day. They scored 37 points with 62 rushing yards.
Yeah. It's, first of all, I was going to say the same thing because I've been very critical of Collins all year. And so he did a great job, and he was given an unenviable task of one-on-one with Watt. So I thought he did a great job. And Pirine, for all the people who started mixing, those were mixing points if he doesn't get concussed. But Pirine had a huge game. I think first Bengal running back to have 3 receiving touchdowns. So,
by the way, Trent Irwin who?
Yeah.
Trent Irwin who?
Well, you know what? He had a couple really, really nice catches. That one where he spun out and stayed in and then got more yards after the catch, that was great. Just some clutch stuff. And let's talk about that drive. It's 6 minutes or so left in the game. Bengals get the ball inside the 10, and then we have a false start because they've just played Renegade and the crowd's all fired up, and they get the false start. So now they're inside their own 5, and that pass to Boyd to get to the 35-yard line was huge. And that drive was huge. Just to go from inside your 5 to a touchdown and make it an 11-point game. That was just a clutch drive.
Yeah, they had. I'm looking at it right now. They went 8 plays, 93 yards, and 5 minutes and change to go up 34-23. They had one negative play on the drive. And the big play to Boyd. And then what was it, Higgins, who had the play to get inside field goal range?
Yeah.
I mean,
No, it was Boyd again.
think,
Boyd had 2 catches.
That's
on
right.
the
It was
that
Boyd.
game. Yeah, it was Boyd.
So he came alive in the second half. It was a lot of Higgins in the first half. But I think top to bottom, I don't care about the turnovers. This was one of Joe Burrow's best games as a pro, in my opinion. I thought the throws were on time. He was taking what they were giving him. It was very accurate down the field. And when you consider no Jamar, tough spot, road divisional game, must win, he answered the challenge and more. He was awesome.
Yeah,
absolutely no doubt about that. But I'll tell you something else that was really nice to see. Crispin came in and did his job as well.
Yes,
I thought special teams was pretty good today.
Well, it was,
Pittsburgh,
except on kickoff coverage. When
they allowed a couple kicks off the
40. Ball, the Steelers are always at the 35 or 40.
But
Our
Mark,
coverage
remember one thing, and I had to be correct, although I'm not certain because I didn't hear the announcers. None of those balls got to the end zone, which is what McPherson does all the time. They were catching that ball on the 10 to start with. I think we were kicking into a wind at the beginning when those there. So once you start the 10, you've got a running start, and you just can't get down there.
So
so the Steelers after they went 3 and out on their first drive because their kickoff returner dropped the kickoff on their first drive, and they started inside the 10. Or sorry, the punts, and then their next 4 drives, which they scored 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. Every single one of those drives started past their own 35, and I know one of them was off a turnover, but the other 3 were they just started past 35, and then they had 0 drives after that the rest of the game that started past their own 30, other than the Watt pick.
Yeah, well, they decked their first down in the fourth quarter, and they only had 4 yards, and they already had 3 points on the board because they only had 4 offensive yards in the second half because of Watt's pick, and we held it, and it was only a field goal. So they literally had 3 points in the second half, and they had 4 yards and no first downs. So
yeah, I mean, three plays 1 yard, 3 plays 6 yards, 3 plays 6 yards. They even on their only drive they scored points. It was a good old 3-play field goal scoring drive. They went 4 plays, got 6 yards in 40 seconds, kicked the field goal because of the pick. 6 plays, 27 yards. 4 plays, 5 yards. 4 plays, 1 yard. They had 90 yards. They had like 60 yards of offense in the second half. I mean, just top to bottom, hats off the defense.
For sure. And you know what, Jake, you said it before about making the halftime adjustments. It's driving me crazy because I'm getting old and my heart can't take it, but we do make our adjustments. I just wish that we would come out with some of being able to adjust along with the game. And I mean, that's one thing Mark and I always talk about is kind of adjusting as you go, as opposed to just making all the adjustments at halftime. But I will tell you one thing also. We never heard his name until they said he had just come back off of IR. DJ Reader showed up today. That middle was nowhere.
DJ Reader never gets any recognition on any broadcast ever. But I said this on Thursday, he's the 3rd best player on the team.
Yes.
I mean, he's money well spent. Like, since the very moment he put pen to paper when he signed from Houston in 2020, the Bengals have just automatically been that much a better defense because of him. And I will say this in defense of Anarumo, because it was kind of obvious what their game plan was. They did not expect this game to be high scoring at all. It's kind of seemed like the game plan was, okay, let's get 20, 23 points, make sure we're not putting the defense in harm's way, keep putting them in good spots, and we'll win a tough game, a la the Denver game from last year kind of a thing. And then the game started, and a lot of stuff was going Pittsburgh's way. They had a couple scoring drives, a lot of miscommunications, couple penalties, and then the offense needed to turn it on to keep up. They did, and then halftime kind of reset everything, and then Lou and his guys went back to being who they are.
Lou is Lou. We gave up a lot of big plays on first down. So Pittsburgh, when they were scoring in the first half, they were in 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4, alpha first down. And we did a horrible job of getting off the field on 3rd down. Some of it aided by penalties that weren't justified, but we weren't getting off the field on 3rd down. You go to the second half, and we corrected both of those. They were making the plays on 3rd down, situational football, getting off the field, and they were keeping the Steelers 1st and 10, 1st and 12. They were getting penetration, taking Harris back 2-3 yards. Steelers were in 2nd and longs the entire second half.
But I will say this, though, while we couldn't get off the field in 3rd, and that's something you and Riley and I talk about all the time, Mark, I will tell you that Pickett made some amazing plays to, scrambling. We were just getting there finally, and halfway through the second half, we finally started getting to the sack as opposed to just getting to the passer. And I'll tell you something else I noticed today. You didn't hear Logan Wilson's names too much. You heard Jermaine Pratt's name all day long. He was in the backfield all day long.
What was Logan Wilson's stats on the day? Because I saw him tip the ball. I mean, I know the guy caught it on the last drive, but he made plays there. He was there too.
I'm not suggesting he's not a player.
Right.
I'm just saying Pratt was in the backfield all day long today.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pratt's a guy that they're going to try to extend in the offseason. He's a free agent at the end of the year. He's a guy that they're going to try to extend. Probably going to end up walking. That's kind of what I would think. The linebacker market is just always way too expensive, and he's not a difference maker on the defense, but someone who I love Jermaine Pratt. He's responsible for the greatest moment in my life as a Bengals fan, the interception against Vegas last year.
Yeah, Derek Carr.
Yeah, he does stuff on special teams too. I think he had 1 or 2 special teams plays today. But yeah, I will say one thing, kind of off topic, transitioning to the red zone. Way too often this year, the Bengals have settled for short field goals. The offense is way too talented to be settling for field goals inside the 20. They went 3 for 3 today with touchdowns in the red zone.
Yeah.
So that turned out, because I know that it was a blowout in the second half. It turned into that, but the Bengals only won the game by 7, and you could really argue that the fact that they scored 21 points in the red zone instead of 10 or 4 or 17 was the difference in the game.
Yeah.
Hey boys, I know you like. I know that both you like to lay the numbers, and I heard your preview show. I don't think either one of you were even close on your score predictions to this day.
No,
except for a Bengal win.
Well, you know what? I'll take that every week.
Did lay 4 though. I did bet Bengals -4. Turned out to be the right side, even though a lot of people I talked to were on Pittsburgh. Understandable considering Tomlin's history as a short underdog in that spot. But the Bengals were the right side. It was a beatdown. They overcame a lot. They overcame turnovers. They overcame bad officiating at times, and they got out of their own way, kind of a thing. And they won a game that they should have won, game that they needed to win, and that's pretty much it. 6-4, big one next week.
And there was a gift for those gamblers out there. There was a gift second half betting. The over was 20.5. You hit it, I think, at the end of the 3rd or early in the 4th. And the Bengals money line was -40 second half, and they were chasing 3, -140. So those were 2 gifts. I bet them each individually, and I parlayed them too. So 2 gifts for our gamblers who have spit on their chin. By the way, did everybody have? I was drooling on our first kickoff when the Steeler player let it go in the end zone and then he picked it up. I so wanted the safety. I was like, there was spit on my chin. I wanted that safety so bad.
Safety, nothing. It would have been a touchdown.
No, if they tackled the player in the end zone. Now they would have had him. But and you saw the Bengals get frustrated. I mean, they kept him inside at the 5, but still, I was thinking. I see Riley nodding. Yes, I was going safety. 5-0. Let's go.
Hey, I got to say this. I got to go mea culpa. A couple weeks ago, I was so pissed off after the Browns game, as you do recall, Mr.
Yes, I recall.
And I said, let's just write off this season and move on. You said, hey, this is exactly what we did last season, going into the bye week, on a win, coming out, and let's see if we can get on a run. I mean, I was just so pissed off at the way, one, I hate the Browns for obvious reasons. I'm actually from Ohio, the only one on this telecast that is, which is crazy, but I hate the Browns. And to see them to absolutely destroy us, it was a nightmare on Halloween night, and I was just. But I will say this: I calmed down. I love my Bengals, and through. And let's see if we can go on a little run here. It's not an easy schedule. It's not an easy schedule at all.
But this was a must-win. Tennessee is a winnable game next week. We have a similar game next week. We're going to be going against a team that basically is going on to do the same thing. They're going to keep it low scoring, ugly, and steal it at the end. So we have a similar game next week, and we might have Chase back next week. So.
So Bengals, they're opening up or the look ahead, it hasn't opened yet, but the look ahead right now is -1.5. We know Tennessee's going to wake up for that game.
Yes.
Every time you play a team the previous or the next year after you got eliminated by them, especially as a 1 seed on your own home turf, we know Tennessee's going to wake up for this game. And we have seen Vrabel coached teams year in, year out just play hard football, and the Bengals are going to have to match them.
Yeah. Well, we need to shut down Henry, and there's no receivers, and we'll cover that on Thursday on the preview. So, and by the way, when Jake and I first, before you logged in, Jake and I said, wow, first thing I said was, well, we didn't see 60 points in this game. At that point it was 37-23. And I know the Steelers got the junk touchdown there at the end, but we were sitting there going, yeah, we didn't. So I acknowledged it before we even got on that, yeah, we didn't no, none of us saw. Vegas didn't see it. I mean, the over-under was 41.
Hey, I'll say one other thing that most of your listeners don't know about either. I've known Jake's father for over 30 years. We go all the way back to college. So to see him as a real young man doing this show with you is kind of special and fun for me. So, I mean, him and Riley, although Jake's a little bit older, I mean, growing up together as as tiny kids it's been a lot of fun.
We're just missing him. It's the only part of the crew we're missing.
Yeah. So I get Katie, we'd have the father-daughter, father-son. So we had that in Carson, didn't we? All of us were in Carson.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So this is all part of the LA crew that I roll with, when we go to games. And so all right.
Hey, by the way, Mark, I know you're always saying this. Tell them where they can find you. Jake, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah. Please, if you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It's all we ask. This is a show by fans, for fans. We don't ask for any money, but please just subscribe. Tell your friends. And Jake, tell them where they can find all your stuff on the Jake Circus podcast.
Yeah, make sure to follow me on Twitter at Jake Circus. That's SIRKUS. I give out all my gambling picks for free. I am now 96-70 on the year against the number, so that's pretty fun. Good. We had a good day today. The Raiders came through in the end to cap it off. I think we went 10-3 today.
That cost me a teaser, the Raiders, because I had taken Denver, so that cost me.
That's tough. The touchdown in overtime on the first drive is always a tough one, but they came through. I had them +2.5 in their money line, so that was good. And then my podcast on Spotify, the Jake Circus podcast, episodes every Monday and Wednesday, and then some weeks we do 3 episodes on Friday as well, but every Monday and Wednesday for sure.
And you can see Jake here on Thursday. You see Jake here on Thursday on our previews.
Yep.
So, and I really like this 3-person format. So anytime you can make yourself available at like 4:00 Pacific time on a Thursday, you can be the third little square there. Riley could be there too.
Time out. I was going to say yes. When are you going to do it this week? Thursday is Thanksgiving. Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. We'll do Wednesday. We'll talk about it. I think we're looking at
I'm also going to be flying on Thursday. I was going to bring that up to you after the show, but
we'll probably record.
Okay. Well, maybe we look at doing Friday, and we can definitely do it. Now, Jake's father, Devin, and I will be watching the Arizona Wildcats hopefully take down the Scum Devils on Friday afternoon. But we could probably get him involved if we did something, late afternoon on Friday.
Yeah, or I don't know if I'm around Friday, so I think I'm in my Skins game, so it'll be probably Wednesday. If you're around Wednesday,
I'll have to take a look at the calendar and see.
All right, well, we'll coordinate.
Maybe we'll get Mr. Talkative to join us.
Yeah, and Riley, say something good. Hooray!
Hooray!
Hooray! There we go.
This is fun. Hey, I'll do these all day long with you.
All right. Well, this is the plan. Come on, Tennessee Sunday. We can have the same little karma here on the recap. So let's do it. Hey, guys, everybody enjoy the Kansas City game tonight. And enjoy the rest of the week. And we will and it's the Thanksgiving week, so we'll probably post on Wednesday. And looking for this was fun. Today we beat the Steelers. It's Steelers. Anytime you win Steelers, we
fuck the Steelers, man. Hey, we've taken 4 of the last 5 from them. Joe Burrow has come to this franchise and he has done exactly what he's needed to do. He has reshaped the narrative in the Bengals-Steelers rivalry.
Oh,
and Bengals have complete control over it right now. Steelers just going downhill.
Let's hope the Buckeyes do the same thing on Saturday.
So
we need the Buckeyes to do the same thing on Saturday.
All right. Yeah, I'm an SC guy. So how about SC?
I was there last night.
That was a hell of a football game. Yeah.
I was there last. That was awesome.
So, all right. Well, we will be back. Please subscribe, listen to Jake's podcast. 2 or 3 of us will be back Wednesday for a recap, probably Wednesday. And then hopefully we can get the 3 of us for the preview, and we can get all of us for the recap after Tennessee, after we can blow the horn again. I like the karma here.
All
Keep
right.
it going. Good day, everybody. Take care.